Neil's Dino Discovery. In a bright and colorful world, where the trees were taller than houses and the flowers sang in the breeze, lived a curious little boy named Neil. Neil had the most amazing adventures, not in faraway lands, but right in his very own backyard. One sunny morning, while chasing a sparkling blue butterfly, Neil tumbled behind a giant, curly fern. "Oof," he said, and then, "Ooh!" Tucked away in a nest of soft moss was the biggest egg he had ever seen. It was warm and smooth, with bright blue and yellow spots. "Wow," whispered Neil. As Neil watched, the egg began to wobble. Wiggle, wiggle, jiggle. Then a tiny sound came from inside. Tap, tap, crack. A small crack appeared, then another, and another. Neil leaned in closer, his heart thumping like a little drum. Suddenly, a piece of the shell popped off and a little green snout poked out, followed by two enormous, friendly eyes. It wasn't a chicken or a duck. It was a baby dinosaur. He shook his head, sending tiny bits of shell flying, and gave a tiny, squeaky roar. Roar! Neil giggled. He wasn't scared at all. The little dinosaur blinked at him and wiggled his tiny tail. Neil reached out a gentle hand and stroked the dinosaur's soft head. "You're not scary," Neil whispered. "I'm going to call you Rexy." Rexy chirped happily and licked Neil's nose. Neil and Rexy became the very best of friends. They played chase around the giant daisies and hide and seek behind the big round stones. Rexy was not very good at hiding. His long, spotty tail always peeked out from behind the bushes, wiggling with excitement. When they were tired from playing, it was time for snacks. Neil shared his sweet, crunchy apple slices. Rexy showed Neil which leaves were the tastiest, the big, juicy green ones. They sat together under a shady mushroom, munching happily. Yum, yum, they chirped together. Suddenly, a very big shadow fell over the garden. A huge, gentle face with the same kind eyes as Rexy peeked over the fence. It was a very, very big dinosaur. She didn't roar a scary roar, but a soft, rumbling one. "Roar," she called gently. It was Rexy's mommy. "Mommy!" Rexy squeaked and ran to her as fast as his little legs could carry him. He nuzzled against her giant leg. Neil walked over, not feeling scared at all. Rexy's mommy lowered her head and gave Neil a gentle nudge with her soft nose, as if to say, "Thank you." It was time for Rexy to go home. Neil gave his new friend a big, warm hug around his neck. "Goodbye, Rexy," he said softly. "Don't forget our games." Rexy licked his cheek one last time. Neil stood by the fence and waved as Rexy and his mommy walked away, their long tails swaying side by side. The garden felt very quiet without Rexy's happy little squeaks. A little tear rolled down Neil's cheek, but he quickly wiped it away. But then Neil smiled. He remembered their fun games and shared snacks. He knew that saying goodbye wasn't the end. It just meant he had wonderful, happy memories to keep in his heart. And the best part about making a new friend is knowing that a new adventure is always waiting, just around the corner.